Peace, 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 peace. Welcome to episode 8 of the Eastside Morales Podcast. I'm your host, Rick Garcia Vega. And on this week's episode of the Eastside Morales Podcast, we have Phree-Bass Sampulz. Phree-Bass Sampulz is a Emcee producer duo out of San Antonio, Texas. They've recently released their latest project, XP8, which is the fourth project from this duo. I reached out to him because I was interested to find out a little bit more about them. Like I said, I've been watching them for a couple of years, but this latest project that they dropped, this XP8, is a really, really dope project that I've had in rotation, I would say, for the past week. So, once I reached out to them, they were more than willing to, have the sit down and make this happen. So shout out to them. I'm going to give the listeners, a little clip of their newest single, Sin and Repent, which is probably my favorite track off the whole project. But with that said, let's get into it, man. Eastside Morales and Phree-Bass Sampulz.
Yo, I sin and repent and forgive me. I sin and repent and forgive me. I sin and repent and forgive me. Forgive me, forgive me. I sin and repent and forgive me. I sin and repent and forgive me. I sin and repent and forgive me. Forgive me, forgive me. Niggas know the deal when I grab the mic, wave white flags when I'm strutting in. Push them panic buttons in. If you ain't down with us, suck it then. Down a notebook and a fucking pen. Some of Mikey's beats in a cup of gin. We ain't need introductions then. And the words sound dope, but percussion's bland. Yo, we Phree-Bass Sampulz. Living life like a gamble. Far from a leading example. With the money becoming a handful. Digging the strings you can't pull. We started a quarter for rap, dog. The DJ was playing your record. I ran in the booth and turning the track off. Running the niggas, so back off. On a Glock, I never slack off. Might get a beat in the track raw. You never heard us like this at all. I sin and repent and forgive me. I sin and repent and forgive me. I sin and repent and forgive me. Forgive me, forgive me. I sin and repent and forgive me. I sin and repent and forgive me. I sin and repent and forgive me.
All right, man. So, wanted to invite y'all on, man, because I know you guys been doing your thing in San Antonio for a minute. You just released your project, a few months ago, right?
November, right?
November
5th, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
X8?
XP8.
XP8? Okay. Explain that.
Basically means XP8 is EXPIATE. And I just put XP in the 8. Basically to atone for sins and stuff like that.
Okay.
So yeah, it's basically shit we talk about on the album. And like Mikey sets the tone perfectly to where it has a dark feel, to where it's almost somebody's worst. Regardless, he's doing, either bad shit or whatever. It's for the good of, just making it out the struggle or whatever.
Yeah, I was listening to it earlier today. I actually listened to it twice, and Mike's beats always grimy as fuck. You know what I'm saying? But the album's solid. The album's really dope. The video that y'all just dropped, that was pretty ill too. You know what I'm saying? I liked how you flipped 2 in 1 on that joint. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get started, man. Probably thought we were starting, but we weren't. Phree-Bass Sampulz.
Yeah.
Mikey Strange.
Yes, sir.
Baby Astro.
Yes, sir.
Big Baby Astro.
Yeah.
She's like 6'2", man, something like that.
Yeah.
All right.
This big ass baby.
Okay. Rap duo. Emcee producer out of San Antonio, Texas. Did you both grow up down in San Antonio?
I did, yeah.
I moved here and pretty much it's home now. I moved here in 2004.
Okay.
So yeah, I moved from Alaska. So here has been home. It was because my dad was in the military. But here is home pretty much.
So how long were you in Alaska?
For 8 years.
Okay.
Basically military brat.
Yeah. So he retired here, or he
Yeah,
just
he
closed
retired
everything
here.
out? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's extreme, man. Because I lived in before I moved to San Antonio, I lived in North Dakota.
Shit.
So I thought that was extreme. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What you said in Alaska, I was like, God damn. So what was it like in Alaska for you, man? 8 years.
It was cool, man. Actually, it was diverse. Like, believe it or not, maybe because right near my high school,
It was Bartlett. It was the same. Man, I went to the same time when Mario Chalmers went to the school.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, he went there, but it was a good mix of everybody, man, because it was near a base, and probably about 15 minutes from there was another base. So you had a good mix of people, man, and then people off base going to the school as well. So it was a good mix, man, of everybody.
And where was this in Alaska?
Anchorage.
Anchorage. Oh, so that's the capital. Isn't
Shit.
Anchorage the capital?
I failed geography, man.
So, but how was the population out there? Was it a lot of people? Or
a lot
was
of people.
It,
Yeah, in Anchorage, it was like the most. Anchorage is like the top one, and then I think Fairbanks or Eagle River or something. Like that. Yeah.
Ryan, you? Mikey?
Just here, man. Northwest side, then west side. And now I bought a house in the west side. I'm just west side baby.
West side all day, right? So how did you get into, and how did you guys meet each other? You know what I'm saying?
Shit, like a long ass time ago, it was at a Sneaks Up party. I think like the second one or maybe third one or some shit. I went with my boy Nico and my homegirl. And we were just cracking jokes inside and shit. I didn't really know anybody there. And we were talking about the bathhouse, and this dude's like, "Oh, I work there."
I made a lot of money there.
Then my boy Nico came out. I was like, "Hey, man, is this fool inside?" I was talking to him, whatever. He's like, go talk to him, man. You can make beats for him. I was like, all right, cool, man. I'll go talk to this motherfucker. And I started chopping it up with them, and then I was just like, yo, what are your top MCs or whatever? And he named, like, Big L, and I don't remember who else, but I was just like, that was enough for me, because I'd messed with a lot of people here, and I was like, man, everyone's fucking... A lot of people I met were either too hip-hop or they didn't listen to hip-hop. They just listened to, like, new shit, and I was just like, I don't like none of that shit. You know, I'm a mixture of both, so whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I started chilling with this fool after that, you know what I mean? That's how I met him and shit.
So how did Nico know that you rapped?
Damn, did I already know Nico before that party?
Shit, I don't even know. He's the one that told me about you, and that's why I went inside to go talk to your ass and shit.
Yeah, shit, I don't know, man. I think that was the time to where I met him. And then for a while, I think it might have been maybe through Lamar.
Oh, probably, man.
Because he was the one who introduced us, and he was playing beats and stuff at that party. And he's like, yo, y'all need to link up and stuff like that. But it was probably not till, 2 years or maybe a year and something down the line to where we actually had a, project. Like, we did a track, probably 3 tracks maybe. Mm-hmm. And then it turned into a project, after that.
Okay. So what year was this?
Damn, that was maybe
10,
2011?
Something like that.
So about 2012, 2013, you released your first project together, or was it like a mixtape or something that you guys did?
Shit, it was going to be... Because, man, for the longest, I've been dropping mixtapes that actually just were over everybody else's beats. And every fucking time I dropped that shit used to have, Mikey pissed. Because you'd just be like, why are you fucking wasting time on all those industry beats, man, and just make some shit on, original shit. Like, put together an EP, put together a project. And I was just like, well, shit, good portion of the time I don't have the beats. And he was like, fuck it, I'll supply the beats and stuff. And it was actually going to be just a project called Phree-Bass Sampulz. And basically we just recorded the shit there, and basically, yeah, once it was done, it was just like this. It was called Phree-Bass Sampulz, and then after we got through, maybe started working on the second. That's when we called ourselves actual Phree-Bass Sampulz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys spell shit crazy.
That's this guy, man.
Okay, I figured it was you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what's the science behind that?
I used to do a lot back then before, man. It was basically seeing to where you're spelling shit exactly how it's said. That's what I would always do. It's
a Montessori style of education, you know what I'm saying?
In a sense, man. You say knife and it starts with a K, man. It fucks up everything when you say kite with a K. So it's kind of like, just saying shit and pronouncing it how it is, man, and just making it seem, it's a lot more, it's simple but complex if you think about it.
Yeah.
Man. That's basically how we approach the music, too. It sounds simple, but it is complex in a sense, too.
So when you guys first linked up and you started hearing his beats, what kind of vibe can you recall the type of vibe that you associated his sound with?
It was probably bad, man, because I would send his full beats, yo, do this, and he'd be like, nah, I don't really fuck with that one, or for a good while, and I was like, yo, like, I got a vision, man, just do it. And then after a while, I started, like, I was just pounding at this fool's head, and he started, my vision went to him, you know what I'm saying?
At least it was honest, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The main thing was, I think, what really, because the first one, it was just, I'm going to do this. I'm doing this. And it'd be like, I mean, if you fuck with it, you fuck with it. If not, he didn't. But when he actually sent the impromptu beat, it was on the second album we did. And, like, man, once he sent that shit, I think that's, like, originally where the sound actually, like, really came together to where we're like, nah, this is what we got to do more of.
Yeah, I think that was when we created, like, the first one, I feel like the first one just like I didn't really know this motherfucker. It was kind of just like, you know, we chop it up a little bit here. Like, I sent him beats. It wasn't really no cohesive shit. It was like he rapped over some shit I had. Mm-hmm. Second one, actually, we were actually friends at that point. You know, I kind of already knew how his full rap. So, like, I was like, yo, I structured these beats directly for him. And that's how I just, like, second one actually had, like a bass. That was, like, our model and shit.
So, was it always, like real hard and grimy, like the way you, because that's how I would define your style of production, you know what I'm saying? I know you have variations of things, but
yeah.
It's still sampled, heavy hitting, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like it probably always was that way, man, just because everything I've always listened to is just like, I guess like my main shit is like that, you know what I mean?
Okay, so the first, what was the track that you sent him that he started fucking with?
Impromptu.
Yeah, Impromptu, yeah.
Okay,
That's what it's called on the second album.
Yeah. That's on your second album?
Yeah.
So you saved the first joint you actually did for the second album?
First joint was done, actually, man, it was at a weird place to where it was done, man, because I was at an apartment and shit, and, like, I had done maybe, like, 2 or 3 tracks, and then I ended up getting out of my fucking apartment and ended up going to my parents' crib, and I was trying to record tracks there, which I couldn't have a, like, full setup like I did before, but I was able to knock out some tracks to where it was enough to, I think, somewhat put together an album. I think maybe, like, during then, they were moving from their crib, so I ended up getting, like, roommates and moving with them, so I was able to finish it up and, like, get it done. So it took a while to actually, like, put the songs together, but before we had been maybe, like, 3 or 4 songs, like, in. We already had done and shit like that, and I think the first one had, like, 10 tracks, so.
So the first joint, was that the self-titled?
Yeah, self-titled one. I'd say that one's still grimy, but that was just back when I was, like, first really, like, getting confident on making beats and the way it sounded and shit. So it was, like, extra grimy with, like I'd say, like, I don't even know what the fuck that sound like, but
it's still a good sound, I think. I think it's still a good sound. I think it was just us actually meshing together, because it actually sounds like the perfect, like, if we didn't know each other, put together album.
Yeah. I feel like that's how albums sound now, because there's no cohesiveness with like, rappers and producers nowadays. It's like, oh, I want to be from you, and half the time they don't know each other's music, so it's just like, yeah, I'll take whatever. Yeah, it's just someone rapping over a beat, and there's no sound. It's just like, yo, I'm rapping over this shit. Like,
yeah, like you said, there's no cohesiveness. They don't have
that. There's no chemistry. There's no nothing there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel like that's kind of how the first one was to me. I feel like the second one was kind of like, when I sent him that first beat, I was like, yo, I've had this beat since the first album, but I was waiting, you know, and I sent it to him, and that's when it was just like.
Actually, what also jump-started it was supposed to be 9 tracks, but then you sent that one that was like Gossip, Deaf to Gossip.
Oh, yeah.
And that was like one that was sent, and I was just like, fuck it, let's make it a bonus track, and I was like on the road to it, and then once he hit me with Impromptu, that's when I was like, yeah, like, we got something, and we're definitely going to keep, like, running with it.
And what was the second one called?
It was Deaf to Gossip.
Okay, so
it was the last track on the first album.
Yeah.
Where it wasn't supposed to,
like,
we were done at first all together, and I was just like, nah, this shit has to be on the album. And, yeah, with that one, it was fucking, it was crazy. It was a dope feel to it, man, to where it just had that cocky attitude. I guess that's what brings, what a lot of his beats bring out. It's grimy, it's aggressive, and, I mean, it almost brings out, it's crazy because he's influenced heavy by Mobb Deep. Mm-hmm. So it's like, when she hear their first damn album, that shit was just like, yo, they didn't give a fuck. They're just rapping her. And then in the skits, you hear it to where it's like, yo, we don't give a fuck. We're just doing this just because. And, like, you actually hear that shit in the verses and all of that. So, I mean, I think eventually it started bringing that out. And once we started working together more.
I think this, I heard your Life Cycles.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that one.
I feel like that was our first actual real album. That was like our first studio. That was like our introduction to everybody. Like if anyone wants to listen to us, listen to that album. That's our real solid, like the foundation has already been laid. Like that was our album.
I say this one though it stepped up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like
I had told this guy too, man.
Like you have some joints on there. I wish I would have wrote down the names of them, but I was just out at the crib just on repeat. You know what I'm saying? Listen to them. I can't remember if I pull it up. I'll find out. But I listened to the whole album. You know what I'm saying? This was a while ago, maybe last year or something, or whenever you dropped it. And I was like, this is cool, but I had some songs that didn't flow for me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm probably the worst A&R ever. But when I listened to this album, like beginning to end, I was like, this whole shit was just like one song. That's how it sounded to me. It was just like, it just flowed. It was like verse 1, verse 2, but not like not where the beat sounded the same, but where everything was just tied in together. You know what I'm saying? Like your flow, you know what I'm saying, your delivery. I know you had a couple guest features on there. But from beginning to end, I think that album, the new one, is really dope. And this is actually the first time I heard it. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks,
and I listened to it twice. You know?
Awesome.
So I want to kind of talk about how that came together. You know what I'm saying? This project, you know, being that, you know, you were 3 albums deep already, or 3 projects, let's say. Did you kind of feel the same way, or did you feel different about how I'm hearing it?
It was different. I mean, like you said, it was around this we started forming everything. It was kind of like Mikey was definitely going back, dotting the I's and crossing T's, because he was like, you know what, honestly, like the first 2 albums we did, those were like considered mixtapes. And basically Life Cycles was to where, hey, we know what we like, we know what people like, and based off that, I mean, he sent me beats, man. This time around it was like different, to where sometimes it would be like, man, in Life Cycles, I would send him a track and he'd be like, nah, fuck that. Nah, you got to go harder. You got to do this. And there's a few joints we did change around doing that. And then with this one, I was just like, man, like, I want to get it done. And some of that shit, I didn't tell him I was done actually until it was done. Mm-hmm. Like, for all he knew, he was like, oh, you got 2 fucking tracks done. And that was like the collab tracks that we had with Westside Gunn and with Conway. And then I just hit him up one day. I was just like, yo, the fucking album's done. He's just like, yo, what are you talking about? I was like, yo, I finished everything. And basically just said, like, yo, basically the next day we ended up linking up with Lou and just playing that shit and letting them hear it, man. So that's, like, during that I was able to, like, have more of a cohesive sound to where it's just kind of not talking to him about it. But, I mean, definitely in the end I was able to, like, he was able to feel it to where it's like, oh, okay, yeah, it was good. It was good.
And who are you talking about?
Mikey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I didn't tell him, like I said, I didn't tell him until the day of it was done.
Oh, damn. Because you do all the recording.
Yeah.
Okay, so he just sends you the beats and you record. You guys don't...
For the most part, nah. I mean, we do communicate a lot with it. Because sometimes I'll let him know, hey, I'm thinking of this, or, yo, this sounds like this type of beat, and he'll be like, yeah, word, or hey, just kill that shit, or just rap like kind of about this, or this reminds me of this. And then we'll go from there. But he does kind of leave it open, but it's to where, I mean, I'll record it and tell him kind of like, hey, this is what I'm going for. And then that's when he'll, like, you know, kind of have his input too.
Yeah, and just going back to the your new project, as opposed to Life Cycles, I think you had songs on Life Cycles that were a little bit lighter or more upbeat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, yeah.
And so that's what I was referring to, where it was just like grime, and then it was just upbeat, and then for a few tracks or sprinkle here and then more grime, you know what I'm saying? But with this one, it was just like front to end. It was just like from the door, boom. As soon as that intro hit, it was like...
I think that's what I told him too. It was like, man, like, I thought like, that was my whole perspective on Life Cycles, man. Like, let's make it more friendly, but still kind of grimy with like our sprinkle on there and shit, and like it got a good buzz, but then like we made I had made a beat, and it was already like past that time, and I was just like, yo, let's get Westside Gunn on this shit, And he was like, oh, I don't care, whatever. So we got him on there, and then we had a song that was just like, for nothing, really. It's just like, what are we going to do with this track? So I was like, fuck it, man. Let's just make like an EP or something. And he was like, fuck it, I'm down or whatever. It was like already 6 months after the album or some shit like that.
We actually dropped it. I had the time hop on Facebook, man, a year. We were playing that shit in like Uber and fucking South by and all that once we were headed there.
Oh, so that was the first track you had done, the one with Westside Gun?
For the new album.
So you guys just did it to like
just
record
to
the
it,
song,
yeah.
and then you just kind of built the album around it?
Yeah.
Well, not
that song's
really.
actually hot,
we
though.
just made a joint, man, just because like I've been fucking with Westside Gun for a long time. Like I think Hitler Wears Hermes 3 had just came out, and I was like, yo, this dude's fucking sick. Like, let's make a song with this dude. He's no one really I'm bumping right now like that. Like, let's do it. Like, it would match perfectly with my beats and shit. And then we made that song, and it was like, well, we need something. Like, what are we
did set the tone.
We need to promote it. Yeah, so I guess kind of like
that did set the tone.
It set the tone, I guess, for my production style for that. Because I feel like this one, you know, I was real heavy into Rock Marcy. I mean, I've been in Rock Marcy ever since fucking he came out, but like I was just like, man, he started producing everything. It's just no drums, like real minimal, and I was like man, real sample heavy towards nothing, no bass line, no hi hats, and I was like, yo, I have beats like this for days and shit. Like let's just do grimy all the way. Like fuck everybody. Like they don't like this shit. Like fuck it, man. Let's just do like let's just go back to what we were doing when we started. Like and fuck, people have been hitting us up all the time now. Like damn, that fucking shit's sick. Fucking that shit's grimy. This shit's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
this
I like
and
that. And you going in, Astro, man. You
appreciate it, man.
even the Conway joint. That beat, it was kind of like it went off, and then it was just kind of like, I remember you telling me something about it wasn't a whole 16.
Yeah, I know it wasn't. It was like maybe 14 or some shit.
Yeah, it didn't have the same vibe as the Westside Gun one, but it all went together. To be quite honest with, because you picked it up at the end on that one.
Yeah, man, it was crazy because at first I was just like, man, what's crazy is that was supposed to be the beat originally for the Westside Gun. He was like,
yeah, the Conway one.
That. I got something else, man. Check your mail. I was like, yo, this is it.
Yeah.
And I sent that verse. I did that verse, and then I thought it was fucking awesome that I did it. And then he sent his back, and it was like cool. And my friends were just telling me like, yo, man, you got to go even harder than that. So I was just like, oh fuck, why? And I recorded another verse, the third verse. I think we probably brought it back like full circle to where it's just like, oh shit, okay. Now we're hearing you aggressive to where it's a whole new light. And yeah, basically on that for the Conway it was just like a to be continued to where it's just on some like flashy gully shit to where it almost reminded me of the scene in Dead Presidents, man, where Lorenz Tate, when he came back from the war, and he played fucking pool again with Terrence Howard.
Yeah.
And he beat his ass, basically. He was fed up with the shit and just beat his ass. That's basically what that beat reminds me of. And I think it was called Payback, right?
I don't remember, man.
It was, I think the original beat was called Payback. And it was just like, man, it just fucking fit the theme of something very fly, but also very cocky.
So did you guys wanted to complete the duo? Is that why you added Conway, or is it just you just felt like, you know what, we should get Conway on this track?
Well, like I said, that's all I was jamming, man. Like that whole beginning of that year, like was it like 2015, like that whole January through March when when I was first doing production for everything, like I was just jamming fucking Conway and Westside. That was it, like just every day. That, and then when it came to like metal shit, that was something else. But when it came to rap, that's all I was jamming, man. Like.
So do you have metal in your mind when you're making beats too?
Yeah, man. Like when it comes to like metal and hardcore, like it's all about what fucking makes your head fucking nod. When it comes to rap music, it's like that sample, man. That shit that makes you fucking head nod and shit.
So what's your process like when you? Cause I seen you on Instagram, you know what I'm saying, and it's this chat, you know what I'm saying, and you just knocking out beats left and right, you know what I'm saying. Like, is it that quick for you?
Nah, man. It's straight up a concoction of whiskey, Topo Chico, and then like a good loop, and that's it, man. Just jamming records, seeing what works, and then sometimes I might just hear like a little here or there, and then I'll cut everything up and I'll start fucking with it. And if it sounds dope, I'm just like, damn, like, all right, like. Cause I remember there's numerous times I come over here, chill with this fool for a little bit, and I have my computer, cause like, man, I was working at something at home, and like, like I need to finish it because if not, I'm not gonna remember what it sounded like. You know what I mean? Because I mean, I don't really smoke weed, so it's like I get that drunk mindset. Like, damn, this sounds like this, and I won't remember it tomorrow. It's just like, fuck, I forgot. I forgot what I was trying to make this. Not even mimic, but like it gave me that same feeling as this or as so and so's production. So I was like, sometimes I'll be here or wherever. Like, damn, I gotta finish at least like one sequence. That way I can remember later, like, or whatever the fuck.
So when you're doing a project, he's just tossing you beats, and then you're just kind of selecting. Do you do the whole I'm just gonna do these songs, or you record a bunch and then you kind of choose which ones? How's that go? It
really goes to whatever ones I am feeling, man. Sometimes, I mean, I'll just gather the ones I am feeling, then write to those. I mean, there's been like a few times where I'll go back and be like, oh, what the fuck, how'd I pass this up? Let me write to this. But it is basically like when he's done with a beat, he'll send me some. Or he'll send that beat to me, and then we'll go from there. But it's pretty much just off, like, whenever he has some, or whenever a few are done.
So you just use everything? You don't have any leftovers?
There's a few leftovers. Sometimes he'll send, like, just, like, hey, it's basically everything for this time to this time to where he's worked on. And I get to choose pretty much from that. And then the other ones will be, there will be a few left over.
No, I'm talking about as far as complete songs. Like,
oh, complete songs? Yeah. No, it's full songs. Once they're done, they're
part
used.
of the project.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes, I feel for Life Cycles, we had like, what, 2 left over?
I thought we had to switch one.
Shit, I don't remember.
One was like, we rapped to. There was actually a song I did, and it was just like, man, you got to change around the bars. And I basically had to write, like, man, like completely different verses, and then the verse went on a different one. I think that was
okay.
it. Like,
maybe
we had
that's
to switch it like that.
Okay, I want to ask you guys, we'll switch it up a little bit. I want to ask you guys about the scene out here. You guys are active, you know what I'm saying? How do you feel like the scene is in San Antonio? Obviously, you know, it's not a major, hub for, artists to be coming out of here, but as far as like how you guys involve yourselves in the scene, kind of explain.
Man, I feel like everything out here is like people talk about no support, but at the same time, when people are supporting something, there's so many people hating on that. Like, well, why y'all supporting that? Shit's corny, or this is that, whatever the fuck. Like, man, I be out here going all the time. Just like, if I fuck with a DJ, I'll be out there even if there's like 3 people there or whatever. Just because that's what it's about, man. It's about support. People talk about support, ain't really about that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's more about ranting about something that you're not actually doing, and that, to me, that's fucking cornball shit, man.
I mean, do you think they even give the music a chance, or they just look at you as a peer and like, fuck that game?
I think it's kind of one or the other, man. Like I always feel like we have people here that support us, and then there's people that they watch us, and there's some to where it's just like, yo, man, I see you're doing your thing, but then either they're not trying to work together, or it's not like really putting shit together. So that's what has us on. Our music is different. To where it's not what's in now. It's definitely not the in crowd shit. It's not the hype type shit. But I mean, it is. There's some, of course, that are doing their own thing, and it is original. And then you have a good portion that are doing what's already relevant and what's already popping now, and they're just basically hopping in
shit.
and making the same shit, man.
I guess you guys should take a page from Westside Gun and Conway, man, because who would have thought that sound would be able to penetrate? You know what I'm saying? Because when I first heard that shit, I didn't hear no drums, just like you were saying,
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking of the landscape of music, you know what I'm saying? It's like, this doesn't fit into what you normally hear, you know what I'm saying? Sure. And so imagine those guys coming from Buffalo, you know what I'm saying, and then being able to penetrate to where they're at now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where they're elevated. So I can, I would say, like, you can look at that as a template of, that it can be done, you know what I'm saying, even coming from a place like this. But do you feel like that you need to take your music, like physically, you need to take your music out of this place and go take it somewhere else?
Yeah.
Or are you just relying on word of mouth and the internet?
Nah, we're finna go tour soon, man. Cause like you were talking about Conway and West Side, like, you know, Buffalo's far out, but it's still near New York. It's still in New York.
It's a whole different world. I'm from the East Coast. I'm from the Northeast. You know what I'm saying? So
but I'm
Buffalo's
saying it's
a whole different
it's
world.
not like it's fucking hours away. Like
I
it's
get it.
like we're in San Antonio, dog. To go anywhere even near where like hip hop's fucking booming, like we gotta go fucking like 8+ hours anywhere.
And it's completely different, I guess, from what we have. There are a few. I mean, you know, we know what the majority is, the music, what it sounds like from Houston and things like that, and Dallas and all of that. So it is kind of like we can't rely on word of mouth. Not here, you know, and that's not taking anything away from the city, man. You know, basically, it's people like what they like, man, and good portion of the time you play shit like this, it's kind of like, you know, it's a hit or miss. That's why I try and approach whatever we do is a mix of, it is hardcore hip hop shit, also mixed with a little flair of what is new and what is relevant to the times, but it's also not completely like, you know, just assing out, selling out pretty much, man. So it does have to be projected out, man, because it's definitely not gonna get anywhere, man, just by word of mouth. Not here.
Like you make your music with the intent of just doing like what you guys like, or you keeping in mind what other people are gonna like as well?
I would say it's probably 80%. 80% because, I mean, no matter what, if we don't like it and, you know, we're putting it out there, it's just not gonna be any hard in pushing it. But it'll be shit to where it's just, I know Mikey likes like more hard shit, and there'll be times to where it's like, maybe this might be like a different approach, like Sin and Repent. Like, I mean, Sin and Repent was definitely a hard beat, man. And honestly, the first thought was like, hey, to follow suit like the other joints and rap like, you know, just on some hard shit, you know, just dropping bars. But I was like, no, we can freak this shit, man. Like, I'll at least make sure we at least freak a joint like that, at least one track every album. Last one was High and Drunk, and then this one was Sin and Repent, to where it has that type of
a double
bounce. Yeah,
but it was still grimy. It was still grimy as fuck.
Hell yeah.
And
that's what I told him. I was like, damn, this shit sounds dope. Like, it's like some grimy ass beat, and you're rapping like I don't know, like fucking like Southern rapper over it, and it sounds dope. Like, he's dancing over the beat. Sounds good.
But you guys obviously take what you do serious. You're investing time, you're investing money into what you're doing. How do you feel like, or what do you feel you need to do to take it to another level? I mean, we have South by that just happened back here, you know, which I don't even understand I don't even understand how that shit works, to be quite honest with you. Like, one thing I did learn about South by this year, and it's been, I went to South by last year, but I only went to one show. I only went one night, and then I came straight home. But prior to that, it's been like 4 years since I went to South by. And one thing I learned was that, for one thing, is like, there's a whole different crowd out there. You know what I'm saying? And something that I kind of observed was like, there's two different parties here. You know what I'm saying? There's like everybody outside trying to get in, and then everybody behind the walls. And you got to find a way to get behind those walls. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where you're really going to get the opportunity to get in front of some people without having to take a flight somewhere to present your music. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how that goes, but have you guys performed at South by, like, as an official artist or anything?
I haven't, man. And I find it, like you said, man, that's actually a well put thing, to where it's two different crowds. I have a friend, he's KG. He's actually really heavy on it, man. He'll be there for the week and really network out there. And it kind of comes to the, like, even now, man, I'm not trying to sound like a purist when it comes to it. Shit has definitely changed when you go there. And a lot of things where it's like, hey, I may not fuck with this music, man. And I think it's, you know, I don't like it. And I don't like this music, and, you know, it sounds stupid. I may not think it'll have any type of impact. Mm-hmm. What's crazy is I was waiting in line, man. You see these people to where they're spitting almost the same shit, man. You hear on the radio, the same stuff. But there are those people, man, who have those badges, who have those things. And, man, they're bringing out their phones and they're taking video, man. They're looking at that like, oh, fuck, is this the next person? I'm just like, you know, it does baffle. It baffles me, man, but that could be a thing to where it is an outlet for it, man, but I don't know. I haven't thought about it, man.
It's I would suggest that you guys find a way to get in there. You know what I'm saying, as official artists, just to get that experience. Because when you are inside, just like you said, those people with them, the badges like that, you know what I'm saying, around their neck, those are the guys that's really watching. You know what I'm saying, and 9 times out of 10, if you're on the street passing out flyers, whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying, they're not listening to you. And that's the thing that was tripping me out, because I'm sitting there and I'm looking, I'm just observing everything, and I'm watching people with picket signs, you know what I'm saying? I seen this dude with a box full of flyers, and they were walking, him and his people, they were just walking down 6th Street, and they were just tossing the flyers on the floor, and I'm thinking like, man, it's such an old way of thinking, you know what I'm saying?
It's a waste, man.
And such a waste of money, where they're hoping one person can just pick that flyer up and be like, oh, this is it. You know what I'm saying? And that's like playing the lottery, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, just off of my observation, in my opinion, I think you guys got a really solid project. This, like you said, this is only your second album.
Yeah.
So the third's going to be even better. You know what I'm saying? You guys got to find a way to get in front of more people, man. You know what I'm saying? How do you feel about these shows, these big shows where you got to pay to play? You know what I'm saying?
That's everywhere now, though, man. Even South by's like that. Like, you got to pay to play. You got to...
It's turning into... it seems like South by, they're being strict, man, to where those, if you have to pay, from what it seems like, those things are the unofficial.
Official stuff. Yeah,
there was a lot of stuff thrown around this year about official and unofficial, and if you're doing unofficial shit, you can't do official stuff and
back and forth,
stuff like that. I mean, I understand it goes. It basically, if you got the money, you know, you can do it, man. I mean, just like, I mean, it's turned into a business. So I mean, I understand that people are throwing it. The only aspect I would see from just a critique on them, have your slots open, man, but don't have fucking 8 people opening up.
Yeah.
Just because they paid a slot, man, and you're almost disrespecting the audience, to where it's just like, yo, we'll sit through maybe 2 or 3 when you got 8 fucking
too many
clowns
fillers
coming through, man. It's not.
And that's just to watch one
not
person.
Worth it.
Yeah.
But if you do pay for it, man, it really comes down to if you got the right mindset for it. Yeah, you're paying for it, but at the same time, if you got, that could work to where at that venue, if you have the people with the picket signs and people passing out your shit, maybe if you make it work and freak it like that, then that can make it seem like, oh, okay, that's a good investment all around. But shit, man, just paying just to play and then that's it. I mean, I don't want to knock it because I know people do it, man, but it is something to where I have a backup plan to where your ass just getting on that stage is not going to get enough. I mean, the people already made their money, man. They don't give a fuck about you, and they'll cut your time short too. So it's mainly about just making sure you have that surrounding thing, have merch, have, you know, some type of promotion that shows it to where you're not just this average person, to where you can also convince that audience that you're not that average person, because that's all it really takes.
Yeah. I agree. I felt like with I used to be opposed to that, to the pay to play, because it was just like, fuck that, you know what I'm saying? It should.
I don't blame you.
You know, because that was an old way of thinking, but that's a way of thinking where you don't invest in yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's how I think now as a businessman. But I didn't look at it from your point where having 8 different opening acts, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would I pay to be another schmuck, you know what I'm saying?
That's
but so I guess it would be, you know, you would have to be selective on which show you want to pay to play, because I don't think it's corny. Some people think it's corny to do that, but to me it's like no different than ordering a bunch of CDs or ordering a bunch of flyers.
Makes sense.
To me, like, you spend a few $100s on some flyers, nobody gives a fuck about your flyers. You know what I'm saying? Nobody gives a fuck about your CD either. You know what I'm saying? They want to hear it on their phone, or physicals don't matter anymore. You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of pointless now.
I can't say I won't go that extreme. You know what I'm saying? But it just kind of seems like an older way of doing it.
Yeah.
And I think.
Well, a lot of people ask you, was it on iTunes? I'm like, you got the CD right here, man. Oh shit, was it on Spotify?
They want Spotify, they want iTunes, they want SoundCloud.
Easy right away to digest, man.
Even the people the gatekeepers, you know what I'm saying? Those people, they want to know numbers. They don't care about your fucking CD. You don't care about how many CDs you sold or shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think for a South by, just using it as an example, you know what I'm saying? Artists like yourself, like you got to find a way to get in there, get inside them doors, and get in front of those people. You know what I'm saying?
We are too close to have it, to neglect it.
You shouldn't be just a fan out there. You know what I'm saying? When you good, just as good as, if not better than a lot of those people in the buildings. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so the local scene, you guys got supported. You know what I'm saying? I went to your album release, and you guys had a lot of people in there. How come you guys didn't perform, man?
Man, that's what we keep hearing, man. Usually I look at a lot of people's like listening parties, man, and I consider it just like that, man, a listening party. It is mainly just celebration. I want people to enjoy it, to listen to it, man, and just to kick back and really, really enjoy it, man. But, I mean, going forward, I mean, I will be performing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of no choice, but it is a thing.
People keep telling you got to at least give it a shot.
Yeah,
you know
I seen it to where, like, D'Angelo had a listening party. This nigga didn't even show up, man, when they were playing this shit, and it was just like, that's what happens at people's shit. They'll play it, but I mean, hey, if it is, might as well take advantage of that.
At least a few joints, you know what I'm saying? A couple
I mean, that's
tracks.
what we did for the life cycles when there was a good amount of people. And I kept telling them, just play a song for. It's like, nah, it was just a listening part, and then like I put the song on the mic, like, yo, we finna play a song. And this fool actually came out, and then people were going crazy, man. It was tight.
Yeah, it was a good thing, man. Like I said, with the other one, it was a weird venue, so that kind of made it weird too. You know what I'm saying? To where it's like it was a lot more open, so it was like, oh fuck, I don't know, man. It doesn't seem as full, but
that was a decent amount of people.
Yeah,
in
but
there.
actually,
especially if you call them all to order. You know what I'm saying? Control the crowd. You know what I'm saying?
It was just bigger. It was a bigger venue that made
right?
it seem like, oh shit, it's not as many. But yeah, going forward, we'll definitely make sure. I mean, we definitely want to plan something to have some type of event. I've been thinking about this shit of us having like some type of event to really have that shit to where projecting everything and our music and then other things as well.
So let's talk about Team Hollow Point, because this is I'm getting more familiar with them. I know Apostle, you know what I'm saying? I know y'all. So explain to me, I don't know shit about it,
That's basically the clique. That's like the home team. You know what I mean?
It's a label.
Yeah, it's our label, I guess. Those are all our homies and shit. As far as being a part of that, that's the home team, like I said. But
it's like a collective.
Yeah, pretty much.
Different artists and things like that.
But like I always tell Astro, we're still doing us, man. Not rely on nobody, but still, like that's the homies and shit like that.
That's what's up. They support you.
Yeah.
Loser definitely. It was actually, man, was that our first, maybe our second album to where like we first met Loser, and he's the one who runs everything and shit like that, and he's actually was just cool with us off the bat, man, and we ended up linking with him again, and he had Vane, Apostle, and then Maddie as well, or Letter P, and like it's cool to where he allows it to be a collective, man, and that's basically what we just associate. It probably would be like a solid collective, It's not all the I guess politics like it is a label, but
yeah.
So what type of support do you get from like being involved with or being connected with Team Hollow Point?
Well, shit, during XP8, Lou helped. Like we barely met Lou at that point, I was chopping it up with him, like hanging out with him, and he helped fund us, man. It was pretty badass. Like I was just like, shit, man. Like you sure? And he's like, yeah, man. Y'all the homies, y'all Team Hollow Point now. Like fuck, I got y'all. And I was like, shit, all right, like. So he helped us out with some of the funding, and it wasn't just me and this guy all the time, because aside from music, we still got our daily lives, our daily job, all that shit, family.
Absolutely.
So that helped a lot, man. That's showed us he was actually down to help us and shit,
And shows.
Man, next show we have the one with Regime Blackout. It's with Entry. And this is actually an artist like I really respect. He's a very good artist. I actually helped him record his Golden Years album at my spot a while back. And I think I met him through Mikey. We actually ended up linking up. We were at the Soul Boutique party. And then we ended up going back to Nico's crib, and he fucking recorded a track there, man. And that's kind of how I became familiar with him. And it's crazy to know, just talking with him now, that he knew a lot of people to where I did before when I was also doing music, hell, even before I met him. So he's been at it for a while, but he's actually throwing a show March 31st, and we'll be performing there. And then we have Hip Hop Fiesta. I will be performing as well. What day is that? In April?
I don't know, like late April or something.
Yeah, it's late April. I think 29th or something.
Let me ask you this about performing. Do you guys rehearse? Do you guys, or you guys just go up there and rock?
It's pretty much just go up there, man. I'm gonna be honest, man. It's with fucking Mikey. It's a roll of the dice. It's roll of the dice, man. It depends on. We gotta see how Mikey feels, man. But I mean, regardless, we're still gonna give y'all a fucking good show. But it just depends on Mikey, man. Sometimes this nigga surprise me, man. He'll just hit me up. Yo, I'm a DJ. Fuck it, you know. Hey, and then times when, you know, when this nigga's feeling himself, man, he'll grab that mic, man, and just be fucking hype, man, like Flavor Flav, man, and we just shut that shit down, man. So it's, yeah, we never rehearse together at all. Like, we're not like in a garage and shit. Just like, yeah, but it's just.
Do you think that's important to do, or do you think it's because stage presence is a lot? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It is. I think honestly, man, it's been trial and error to where it's gotten used to it. I wouldn't say to where I'm jumping all across the stage.
Well, you don't have to do that.
Yeah. It's mainly like to where, if however I'm rapping, he doesn't overshadow it. He's not, you know, crazy with it. It's kind of playing the right parts. You know, and rehearsing isn't too serious to where we need to do that. To where it's, hey man, we're gonna do a dance routine or anything. It's pretty like solid to where. It works out. It does work out.
You want to dance, man? You know what I'm saying?
Well, our next joint,
fireworks, pyrotechnics,
like Kid and Play. We could probably do that for the next.
I know that's a question I would like to ask different artists. You know what I'm saying? Did you guys rehearse, especially artists like in the '90s, because that's like the last generation of artists that but they were like developed. There was like real A&Rs helping these guys. They would take, not like today where you just blow up off the internet.
Yeah.
And you're like thrown in front of a crowd and you don't know what to do really. You know what I'm saying? But they would take time to develop these artists. So I'm just asking the question.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I did. You know, it was crazy when I first started doing shows, man. I had two homies I rapped with like daily, man. For a good little bit, man. I did a fucking performance with them, man. And this is when I was rapping on industry beats, man. And it was when the Ricky Bobby and all that shit was popping off, man. And I was like, yo, we're gonna do this shit. We gotta do this shit. And man, once we got on stage, man, they didn't do any of that. I was the only person, man. I was left hanging, man. And just I almost feel like then and there, that's when I realized like people don't give a fuck about performances, man, because. Homie, you know, just got on the mic. Another one just walked off to the side, man. I was just like, what the fuck, man? And, you know, it's sometimes,
it's very important, man, because the people that you're in front of.
Memorable.
It's, that's the people that you have to impress. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's go back to South by. I was out there, right, walking. I couldn't get into any doors, you know what I'm saying? But I was walking the street. And I'm just looking at different performers, and I see people. They were doing like pop-ups. So there was these chicks, and they were just they came out with a PA's type of system. You know what I'm saying? And they were just performing right there. You know what? They had a whole crowd just people. They were captivated. You know what I'm saying? And they were alright. You know what I'm saying? But people, they caught their attention. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't on some. Like spectacle type shit, you know what I'm saying? They were really genuinely interested. And then I, walked further down, and then there was another dude with a guitar, and he was singing and shit, and he was really good, you know what I'm saying? And he was holding crowds. People left, but people come back. But I think stuff like that is very important, you know what I'm saying? Like once you get in front of a crowd, you gotta get their attention. You gotta make them remember you, you know what I'm saying? Once you get off that stage, they need to come to you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So. I just want to throw that out there, you know what I'm saying? I think y'all got a dope project, you know what I'm saying? And but you're still early on in the process, and just something to think about, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense, man. That's something for people to leave with, an impression.
Yeah, because that's the people that's going to support you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? how's the project do? How did this project do? Did you have expectations for it, or did you you just want to put it out there and see how people gravitate towards it?
I'm gonna be honest. Every time we put it out, it is just to see like y'all fucking with it. Is it cool? And it is what it is, man. We don't. Like Mikey's always told me to where it also helps me too, to where it's just like, yo, we've already spent the money. It's spent. You know, get this shit out, make it heard. So I mean, it's actually, it makes a huge difference now to where, I mean, we sold a good amount of CDs and shit, and now it's just like, now that it's on like iTunes and everything like that, that's where like we're seeing more of a support thing too. So it is more of like people are hearing it, not just like, oh, you guys got a fucking thing and we got to go to. I mean, it's almost the same when they go on Bandcamp, when they go on fucking SoundCloud, but even then people want it more simplified, man. So it's on iTunes, it's on Spotify, it's on Google Play, it's on fucking everything, man, to where you can just go and listen to it. So now I think it's a lot more of like, you know, people have
more
heard
accessible.
it, and they know, yeah, they know, you know what it is pretty much, and then so it is. It has been good feedback. What's crazy is there's a lot of tracks to where I think people will like, but they like something else, and it's actually the different tracks on there. So I'm like, man, you actually really like this, and it's a good mix. That's what actually makes it feel better, to where it's like a good project as a whole, to where I haven't heard like, oh, you know, I wasn't really feeling. No, it's like, well, I like this and I like this. These are my favorites, and these are different from the next person. So it makes me think, you know, as a whole, like, hey, it's a good project overall.
Yeah, people are listening.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I think what was dope is that when you put the video on Facebook,
yeah,
like that's like you can get a good gauge of how many people are
yes,
watching this thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it's funny like that. You know, everybody has their preference on how they want to hear things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you can have the video on Facebook or Instagram or whatever the case may be, whatever your social media outlet is, and then you go to YouTube, and it can be completely different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it could also be reversed. You know what I'm saying? Like people only want to listen to you off of YouTube, and they don't want to hear you from anywhere else. Like
Yep.
my kid's 12. You know what I'm saying? And she listens to different outlets. One time she had like some YouTube music app that she was listening to, and then now she's listening on SoundCloud. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's hard to gauge. You know what I'm saying? But it's important to be on everything. You know what I'm saying?
That is true.
But my point about Facebook is that it's not like you can just watch it right there. You don't have to leave Facebook to go watch the video. So it gives you an opportunity, well, more people opportunity to just watch it there instead of having to open a pop-up.
It's probably the best. It's probably the best loophole, and I'm gonna be honest, man. Hopefully it lasts for a good little bit of doing that. Because what I've been noticing times where I'll post a link through either our site or post a link, period, man, it won't be seen. Like, and that's maybe with shit to where I post. Or maybe if we do a video, I'll post a link directly. You won't really like see it, or it won't be any notifications from it, man. And I think that's all what Facebook trying controls, to where it's like, you know, they want you to pay.
They have to. You know what's funny is, like, I noticed that people who post from Instagram onto Facebook, nobody fucks with those posts. You know what I'm saying?
You can't really see
like,
it.
but if you just post straight to Facebook, everybody sees it.
Yeah. Isn't it the same thing too, right?
It's the same company, you know what I'm
it's
saying?
The same company, man, and
I guess they're trying to separate everything.
Yeah.
It separates everything, but also they want that money, man. With Facebook and you promoting some shit and posting something, yeah, they definitely do have their little thing to where it can be seen by this many people, and you know.
Yeah. Well, I think we covered on about everything. You know what I'm saying? For right now, to be continued. You know what I'm saying? Phree-Bass Sampulz. You want to shout out your social media, where to follow you, with the project, everything?
Yeah, they can go to our website, pbs-music.com, at Baby Astro, BABYAZTRO, and
Mine's at Mikey Strange, at Instagram and Twitter. That's all I got.
You don't want nobody to follow you?
I don't fuck with that Facebook. I don't fuck with that Facebook.
Yeah, you got off of there.
You can Google Phree-Bass Sampulz, man. I know it's complicated. PHREE and then BASS. That's why we got the pbs-music.com. You'll be able to find everything through there.
Or hit up their social media.
Yeah. Got the link in my bio.
Yeah, link in bio. All right, man. I want to thank you guys for taking the time out.
Hey, thanks for having us, man.
Yeah,
I'm going to go listen to the project again. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's a really dope project.
Thanks.
I'd like for everybody listening to go check out the project.
PBS, XP8.
XP8. Yes, sir. All right. Until next week. Peace.